All right, here we go. This one's going to be a 9x25 Dillon versus 10mm test. Today we have a couple Underwood rounds to try out. So for that 9x25, that one is the 124 grain XTP. There's what that one looks like. That one has your standard brass case and is rated at 1700 feet per second. And for that 10mm, that one is the 135 grain Nosler bullet. That one has your nickel plated brass and is rated at 1600 feet per second. So we'll see how close we come today. So we are going to be using Mr. Lee's Glock 40. That one does have that 6-inch 9x25 Dillon conversion barrel in it. And we do have our stock barrel as well. So we'll be going through our gel. This is a 10% block. Do over a catch block behind that, so a total of 22 inches of gel. Our 4 layers of cotton t-shirt on the front, and like always, we'll set up our chronograph so we can hopefully pick up those impact velocities. So let's set up and see how these rounds do head to head. First one up will be that 9x25 Dillon. All right, we're sitting back to 15 feet. All right, let's see how we did on that one. All right, looks like our impact velocity on that one was 1677. So once again, really good, kind of like our last test that we did. You know, pretty close to advertised. I believe advertised was 17. So, you know, definitely not too bad. All right, so there is our entry hole. Looks like you got another good hit. You can see right down that cavity. Looks like a huge star pattern again. So let's check it out from the top. Oh yeah, check that out. That thing is dumping a ton of energy. Looks like it did settle down just a little bit towards the end, and we did make it into that second block, so really good to see. So let's check out what kind of measurement we have here from the top. So at our widest spot, we are right at 4 inches. So, you know, once again, a 9x25 Dillon is one nasty round for sure, and it does look like we do have a little bit of a blowout here on the side. So let's check it out from the side. And same thing. So it looks like as soon as that thing came in, pretty much exploded. You can see a ton of fragmentation going through. It looks like it carried that energy about halfway through that block. And you can see fragments going pretty much all the way through. And then you can see that round resting down there in that second block. But man, that is a ton of damage. So let's check it out here from the side. So from the side, it looks like we're about 2 3/4. So a little bit less damage from the side than the top, but man, that is still very impressive. And let's see our penetration. So you can see that round is kind of facing a little bit downward. And at our leading edge on that one, we are 1 1/4 inches. So that one made it 13 1/4 inches of total penetration. So definitely not too bad. Actually, I'm sorry, that was 12 1/4 inches. These are 11-inch blocks. So, you know, not too bad at all. So let's set up for that 10mm and see how that one does. All right, we're stepping back to 15 feet. All right, let's see what we did on that one. All right, so it looks like an impact velocity on that one was 1732. So advertised was right at 16. So man, that is awesome to see. That one was a 6-inch barrel, so you know, definitely expected to gain a little bit of velocity, but I wasn't expecting that much. So that is awesome to see. All right, so there is that entry. Looks like I got a pretty good hit. And man, check that out. That is a ton of damage so far. You can see right down that cavity. It looks like a huge star pattern. So let's check it out from the top. Oh yeah, check that out. Pretty much looks like a frag grenade came in here and just exploded. There's quite a bit of fragmentation. Doesn't look like we made it too far, maybe about 7 inches in this block, but man, that is a ton of damage. So let's see what kind of measurement we have here from the top. So it does look like we have a little bit of a blowout, but at our widest spot we are right at 4.5 inches. So that is a ton of damage for that. So let's check it out from the side. Oh yeah, and same thing from the side, man. That is crazy. That thing was moving, but you could see pretty much as soon as that thing came in, it exploded in there, and there is fragmentation all over. You can see kind of those little shoots from those petals going everywhere. And like I said, we barely made it just past the halfway mark, but man, there's a ton of lead that thing was shearing off. So let's see, at our widest spot, we're pretty much from the very bottom of the table to the very top, and that is just shy of 4 inches. So quite a bit of damage from the from the side than the top. You know, that is very impressive. And look at all that stuff in there. And let's see at our leading edge how far we made it. And yep, right at 7.5 inches. So we definitely didn't get the most penetration, which really wasn't expected because we knew that thing was gonna be moving pretty fast. And normally, even when we tested in the shorty barrel, we get quite a bit of fragmentation. But man, that is just crazy for sure. But 7.5 inches and just a huge path. So let's check them out one more time from the top. So what I'm gonna do is flip this block real quick. All right, just so we can get a little bit better idea what's going on. So this one on the right was that 9x25 Dillon, and this one coming towards us is that 10mm. So here is that 9x25. You can see that thing came in, opened up really nicely, dumping a ton of energy. A little bit of fragmentation going on, did settle down just a little bit, and then we did make it into that second block with that one. And that 10mm, man, that is just crazy for sure. That one came in, pretty much exploded. You can see all the fragmentation going all over the place. And as you can see, that one was a very shallow penetrator, but man, the amount of damage it created was just crazy. So let's pull these rounds and see what they look like. All right, check these things out. Looks like they both got some pretty major expansion. So the one on the right is that 9x25 Dillon, one on the left is that 10mm, or what's left of it really. The majority of it is still in that block, but these are the pieces that were kind of sticking out. So we'll check out that Dillon real quick. So you can see this one had some pretty major expansion, some really nice mushrooming for sure. Peeled back really nice. You can see those petals pretty much peeled all the way over that base. They held together really nicely, which is surprising because that thing is moving out pretty good. But we definitely lost a little bit of weight on it. And it's good to see that this one actually made it into that second block. That first test we did was just shy of making it in. But, definitely a very impressive round. And this one's a little bit different. This one is that 10mm. There is just 3 pieces of that lead core that we were able to pull out so far. Like always, I will pull out all our stuff here at the end just so you can see, what's really going on. But yeah, there's really not much left of that one. So not really much to see there. But we'll check them out one more time. This one you can't really tell from the bottom with that 10mm, but still not too bad. Did a ton of damage for sure. So one on the right is that 9x25. One on the left is that 10mm. So there we go, guys. That one was Dillon versus 10mm. So once again, thank you, Mr. Lee, for letting us use your setup so we could test these super hot rounds. It was definitely a fun one. But as always, thanks for watching, guys. All right, so there's that cross section for that Dillon. That thing is definitely very impressive. We have some huge splitting going on. You can see a couple of fragments or lead chunks down in there. Same thing on this other side. Very big splits. Nice star pattern. I did remeasure these. They're peaking right at 4.25 inches and averaging about 4. So that's definitely quite a bit of damage. So let's cut it open. All right, so here's after being cut. So this bottom is the right side, this top is the left. So you can see as soon as that thing came in, right at that 1/4 inch mark, started to open up. And same thing, kind of basically exploded in there. You can see that huge path going on, huge channel, and quite a bit of fragmentation. It really tore this gel up though. That is one nasty path for sure. Same thing on this little area. You can see quite a bit of fragments. But man, that is some crazy stuff for sure. Really nasty. Same thing on this top. Came in, opened up. See where it started to parachute open, that huge path. And once again, man, definitely some nasty stuff. More fragments, a little bit of that fabric that it drug in, and some huge deep splits going down in there. Those cuts are really deep. That thing's been very impressive lately. So let me do one more quick angle just so you can see how deep those cuts really are. And I guess right there you can kind of tell that channel. But yeah, look at that stuff. That is a jumbled mess for sure. Very impressive. And that round was moving out pretty good too. So pretty good to see those velocities. But man, nasty stuff. But there we go, guys. That one was at 124 grain XTP loaded by Underwood. All right, and here's that cross section for that 10mm. This one was a whole different story. This one was pretty insane the way I found it. But man, check that out. Check out the amount of damage that's going on. This one literally looks like a rifle round came in and exploded. Just the amount of damage that thing is creating is insane. I guess when it's moving over 1,700 feet per second, you know, it's kind of expected. But man, that is crazy impressive. Same thing on this side. Huge splitting. Tons of fragmentation. So when I cut this open, I cut it right about the 3-inch mark, and I actually found this dead center sitting right in there. So I don't know if we got bounced back or if that's as far as it went, because I don't know if you guys remember, but I pulled the 3 larger petals when I showed the round, and that's all I found because that's what kind of came out of the block. But yeah, so I actually found the majority of the slug right at that 3-inch mark. So that is pretty crazy amount of damage. Of course, it wasn't a deep penetrator, but I don't, you know, regardless, I don't think it really matters with the amount of damage that's going on. Even if you hit a limb, that limb would definitely have to be amputated or, you know, just, I don't know, it's just crazy. But anyways, so we're going to light it up just so you guys can kind of see what's really going on. But check that out. It is insane. Just that huge star pattern in there. Same thing on this side. Huge cuts, huge splitting, and tons of fragmentation. So let's cut this open. All right, so here's after being cut. So this bottom is the right side, this top is the left. It might be a little bit difficult, you know, to show you guys because this stuff is literally hanging on by a thread. So it's pretty much, you know, coming apart, but I'll do the best I can. So you can see pretty much as soon as that thing came in, like, I don't even know if there's really a measurement, maybe a 1/16 of an inch. It started opening up and pretty much exploded when it did impact. You can see this gel kind of turning backwards, and then just huge chunks. Nasty cuts in there. You can see quite a bit more fragmentation going on. Like this side's barely hanging on, but just some really huge splits. Same thing down there. You can see a couple more petals. But that is crazy impressive, the amount of damage. And same thing on this top side. You can see a little bit of that fabric when it came in. That huge path. A couple more petals, a little bit more fragments. But man, just crazy. So like this side is literally barely hanging on. It's kind of hard to open it up. But yeah, just a massive amount of damage going through. Pretty crazy the way that that 10 jumbled this stuff up. So, you know, I guess it's kind of expected. That was out of a 6-inch barrel. So it was moving a little bit faster than advertised, and you know, 10mm is just a devastating round to begin with. So very awesome to see there. So let's do one more quick angle. All right, so hopefully you guys can see this a little bit better, but you can see those massive splits going on. Just a crazy amount of damage in there. Same thing on this side, but that gel is barely hanging on. That one was pretty much 900 foot-pounds on the dot. So that is getting in that 44 Magnum territory right there. There we go, guys. That one was at 135 grain Nosler loaded by Underwood.